So good day, friends. Good evening, better. Today's little story is about your death. What and how you're going to reach this point where you can maybe transpire it, where you can maybe go over it, or maybe you'll just forget about it. This is a tale, this is a myth, this is just a story that never been openly talked about. Not even the morticians, the doctors, the surgeons, the warmongers, they never talk about a death as the worst thing could happen to the human, to the real intrinsic and light human, which I hope you will, end of this little chat, you'll figure out that you can become one. So title: There is no life after death, just ugly spiritual prison. Well, maybe a little bit harsh for all these, let's say, dead people. You've been dead, or you've been dying for many years, many times, many civilizations, because you have never been properly taught that death is not mandatory. Death is not required for the beings who decide not to die. Well, this is just the first step. The next one is how to reach the point where you can actually choose to keep your body over and over again, day in and day out, or moment in and moment out, with the same healthy outcome, with a frequency that it's always keeping you, let's say, fresh, always keeping you pretty much youngish, always keeping you in the form that you choose to be. So many of these, let's say, fake teachings, really fake teachings, and pretty much like scary stories for adults, were done based on when death comes, something with a, like a, how you call this, dark entity with some kind of weapon that is sewing your soul away from you. No, really. It's more like a technology. It's more like a magnet for the soul, where you, as not aware human, comes out of this physical body when you're dying, and this soul wandering around the place where you existed, not realizing that you're actually dead, that you have no body. You are wondering why all these other humans alive, humans realizing or not realizing you. See, I have visitors here as well. They are kind of lining up and listening what I'm going to say. So this little magnet is a technology, let's say, from some quite distant future, brought here, so your soul, your spirit, or part of your spirit can be captured. It's like go to the white tunnel when they are saying all these really freaks who are dying on purpose to reach the point of near-death experience, and they even make movies and so on. I mean, some depictions are true, but again, very twisted, that you actually continue being afraid of dying because, reason why? Because you are losing your body, and you are losing really a touch with your own divinity. When you're without the body, you're kind of vulnerable. You can be magnetically attracted to a certain situation, or even a little trap was prepared for you, so you can see, doesn't matter, your family members waiting there in the hallway. You can see your, fake God that you were praying to, your, let's say, this lifetime. you can see, even if you feel that you don't go to the light place, they prepare for you like a tricky environment, or almost like a stage, theater stage, where you go in and you go into the hell with all these creatures that you saw or you've been programmed to see when you leave your body. So they can get you. They can capture your spirit within their own parameters of technological box. Ron Amitron beautifully describing all these details and call it spirit in the box. So we have been taken. We have been taken on so-called many etheric sanctuaries where we've been taught what to do next, and pretty much a big fat lie, because we went there, or probably you went there, to take a break, and they have to find you a similar, let's say, access where you're going to get born and continue with the same old suffering, pretending that you have to learn some kind of lesson, that you have to express all your fears until you, let's say, overcome them. Yet nobody talks about a true intrinsic reason why you're here, like why you actually came here. Initially we came as a free and very light beings. We have 100% of our source energy within. So every time we kind of, after first was almost like, 4,000, 5,000 years, we can live the same body without any, let's say, boring periods in your life. And eventually we have been, let's say, twisted into that we have to change. We have to change the shape. We have to change even a gender. We have to change a species. Let's say we are not humans anymore. We can be half and half. And when these manipulations start happening, we ending up pretty much defected. Our light codes gets diluted, and it gets eventually start falling off and start pretty much being stolen from us. So every time when you see people dying, especially if it's en masse, wars, fake accidents, or doesn't matter, tsunamis, or any kind of so-called non-natural disasters, this was, to me, a collection of the individual spirits of the humans and keeping them in perpetual prison, not realizing that the only free place where they can be is in their body. I mean, in this particular body that you're carrying right now. I know that this is quite off the balance, as everybody else was teaching you. Doesn't matter, religious teachings, medical teachings, Scientology teachings, New Age teachings, they all talk about death as a place where we have to go no matter what. I tell you different. I tell you, really, there is always your choice. This is your free will that you choose different. But to reach the point that you can actually keep this physical body as long as you want. I'm not talking another 3-5 years or whatever, little programs that you can keep it for 4,000 years or more, or indefinite. So we have to start thinking how to adjust our, let's say, conscious misconception that we cannot live indefinite. And then we have to only realize when we leave our body and when we see others dying in front of you, you feel sorry. And you don't know really why. Because you kind of subconsciously, you realizing they're going into the prison. Many people live on this planet in the prison because this was set truly as a prison planet, where many high human light being spirits gets captured and gets recycled. Every 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whenever they lose their physical body, they go into some kind of, how we call it, like away center, where they sorting them up a little bit. Again, another form of highly secure prison, because your mind is still very active. Your energetics are still very high, even if you don't have a body. Yet, all the point of why we start coming here in this physical, really physical mastery of infusing our spirit with the physical body. Yet, our spirit don't like have a dirty body. Our spirit doesn't like when our mind is greedy, jealous, competitive, and it doesn't like pain. So what we've been kind of tricked and deceived for all these lives that we lived here is to live in pretty much very painful and very, very nasty life after life after life. We going to the point of when you see somebody in your family is dying or having an accident or having an injury, and there's no other solution but going to the freaks of the medical dark magicians. And these guys induce even more pain, even more trauma to the physical body. And we end up really slowly dying as truly like a suicidal approach to our very short span life. So, prison is not really this planet. Prison is our mental incapacity to realize that we can change it. So, my only goal for all of these thousands now of videos and Roanamitron's hundreds of thousands of hours and days and years and weeks spent with us as a, let's say, mortal humans, to get realizations that we don't have to be anymore mortal. We can make a different choice by start being a better person that you've been yesterday, being healthier than you've been yesterday, better looking without plastic surgeries and all the other makeups and so on that you've been yesterday, being more generous than you ever been, being less judgmental than yesterday. And I can go this for a week, and I will not list all of our human misconceptions that this is what we have to be. We have to compete. We have to be better than somebody else. We have to, I don't know, keep control of our life. And we cannot even control our bowel movement. When it comes, right? Or when you have to pee, you have to pee. There's not a single one who can hold it on. So when time comes, you go and pee. And not allowing doctors, not allowing any of the practitioners, like practitioners of the dark magic through the word, through legal, through teachings, through history, through science, through healings, not allow them to actually force you out of this physical body prior you choose to. And if you live clean, and if you live in peace within yourself, your body starts recovering basically instantly. Well, not really instantly, it takes months, it will take to some people years to become fully aware that they can continue living as they've been in their 20s or 30s or 40s, whenever they choose to look alike as purely enlightened being who's healed of any diseases. Meaning, you don't have only physical diseases, you have myriads or ton of other emotional, mental, psychological diseases, sociological diseases that we don't even mention. I'm asking, why do we need a president? Why do we need leaders? Why do we need doctors? Why do we need politicians? We don't need them. You don't need them. You're your own spiritual guide, your own spiritual healer, your own physical, your body salvation for perpetual and never-ending life. So start